Welcome along to Tweet Street Scotland Occupied, home of the satirical soul tire. I'm Cinnamon Bridges, aka Peter, and with me this afternoon, we've got Graham Bell, all the way from Inverness. Graham, how are you doing?
Not bad, Peter. How's yourself?
Aye, I'm good. We had a wee bit of technical difficulty there trying to get live streaming, but we're now streaming live, folks. So apologies for anybody that's been held on waiting there. So I was talking there. We were talking for about 7 minutes, Graham, and then somebody came in and says, "But that stream's not going out." So apologies to anybody that was holding on waiting there. So we're going to go fresh at this again. So Graham, you've joined us all the way from Inverness.
I have.
Aye.
Indeed.
So,
on Sunday the 13th.
Aye. And you remember the Inverness group? Yep. Which we're going to talk about in a wee while. And you're also a member of a group that's set up in formation called Dissent, which we'll come on to talk about in a wee while. But we're going to talk a wee bit about this week's news, or the news of the past couple of 10 days. Because we've already had radiation leaks at Faz Lane. The Defence Secretary coming out and saying that we should be thankful that we've got nukes in Scotland. Again, appalling if you're Scottish and you voted for pro-independence parties in the hope that you could become independent and rid yourself of Trident after Clyde. It's not happened yet, but we're still hopeful. Especially given the temperature with what's going on in Ukraine with Russia. It's a wee bit, the world's a wee bit a tinderbox at the minute. So let's draw ourselves back in a wee bit to Scotland, and we'll concern our own wee bubble for the time being. So Scottish news, online Scottish Citizens Assembly that we had, it's nearly 2 weeks ago now, 9 days ago, sorry. So we had that, and we linked up with Bonfire of the Vanities. It was a salvo event. The main event was at Fife, where we were having a bonfire on the beach at Fife there and burning articles of union. And some fellow Scots decided that they wanted to get involved, that maybe couldn't travel to Fife, so they set up their own bonfires in their own areas, whether it be in gardens or private gardens, what have you. And they had their own burnings, which was great. So it was good for people to get involved across the country. Graham, did you see much of the advertisements for it?
I did, and I was actually very interested in the pick-up with it, because it showed there was a great interest for a bit of action. I actually missed your online forum on the night, but I did watch it later, and it was really quite interesting what was being said and what was being done. Well, and I think it was the act of burning the Union Treaty was absolutely superb, and I think Salvo should be applauded for that initiative. It certainly provoked quite a reaction across the country, from some more so than others, and some parts of the political sphere, shall we say, were sort of jumping up and down, and it certainly grabbed much attention, much needed attention, to highlight our cause and say, look, yeah, the Union is basically dead. We've had enough of this. So good on Salvo.
Aye, absolutely. It's one of the ones where, as you say, it provoked reaction.
Aye.
And it provoked reaction for quarters that you don't expect it, some of the reaction to come for.
Yep.
We're going to show a wee clip of the online Scottish Citizens Assembly, which later linked up to the Bonfire of the Vanities. So let's share it with some folks. Right? There we go. Come along to Tweet Street Scotland Occupied, home of the satirical soul tire. I'm Cinnamon Bridges, aka Peter.
With me this evening for this special evening, it's our online Scottish Citizens Assembly. So, hello. I would just like, first of all, to thank everybody here tonight. So, to everybody that has joined us from every corner of the country to take part in this emergency online Scottish Citizens Assembly, I thank you. That includes those tuning in online from home. Hello and thank you and all. This is the first Citizens Assembly in quite some time, and the first online. Only fitting as Scots invented democracy, the internet and modesty. Aye, but what's that? I'll tell you about modesty later. Anyway, you're right to ask. In a nutshell, it's a gathering of ordinary people from all over the country, from all trades, occupations and professions that make up our population. What's missing is the politicians. Why the Citizens Assembly has been called since 2014's referendum, the spirited discussions, campaigning and action that made the country feel so positive and vibrant has faded away. We need to get those years back, to re-energise people, old hands, new recruits and new Scots from every corner of the world. To be blunt, we need to start again, to rekindle the flame that's still burning, to rebuild the bonfire under Westminster and Holyrood, to remind politicians of the fact that we, the Scottish people, are sovereign, and we aren't happy with how shite everything is, and we've had enough. Oh, we can't change things, it's all just a fix. Well, history, especially history ignored and belittled, has a bad habit of not going away quietly, and we've had a fuck ton of it. All the things that have been in the news recently about old treaties, acts of parliament and the like, aren't just Braveheart and Brigadoon. They're the living blood of our society, culture, laws and rights. They're our DNA, and they are there for the future. And they're forward-thinking, innovative, and that is why some people are scared of them. Scared, why? Because they draw on genius, not the mealy-mouthed platitudes of politicians, but the words of the 1320 Declaration of Arbroath, the 1689 Claim of Right, and both clearly say that if the leaders aren't doing what the people need, we don't need to vote them out, we can sack them. And these laws are still valid. Both our governments have been lacking in actions and visions to prevent the impacts of Brexit, the cost of living crisis and the war in Ukraine on ordinary people. Some might say it was a deliberate act to have things in such a way. Overall, rates of poverty in Scotland are increasing. The number of food banks is increasing. The number in fuel poverty and the energy capital of Europe is increasing. And that's why we're here. Because if our elected representatives aren't going to do anything, then we are. I would just like to
right, so we'll stop that there, right, because that's pretty much was the opening to the online Scottish Citizens Assembly. And hopefully, Graham, you can reflect on some of the things that were mentioned there. Obviously, for 2014, where as the stats or alleged stats would have it, we were unsuccessful in getting independence for Scotland, and everything that we were told would happen if we voted yes has happened when they voted no. I can't put myself like them, right? It's like, no, I voted yes, I tried it. I tried to be forward thinking and stuff like that. What's your thoughts on where we're at right at this point here? Because we've got a referendum in the 19th of October next year, less than a year away. So like, we're on a countdown, mate.
Well, yes. Yeah, I mean, the last 8 years have been basically wasted. The SNP have had mandate after mandate after mandate and done nothing with it. So I think, I mean, to be quite honest, I think that whole thing could be summed up in the very words that you just said. If the politicians won't do it, the people will. It's over to us, the people, the sovereign Scots, who will push this forward. And I mean, the political wing, such as Alba, SNP or Greens or whoever, it's not going to be them that drives this. It's going to be the people. It's only a people's movement, a mass movement, that's going to drive this forward. It'll be very interesting awaiting the outcome of the Supreme Court decision Because either way, it's going to be a win-win for independent supporters, because if the Supreme Court, which I suspect, in my personal opinion, that is, I suspect will come down on the side of no, you can't have your referendum, fair dues. That's Scotland de facto colony. But on the other hand, if they do come down saying, aye, go ahead with your referendum, again, fair dues. But the timescale for a referendum is tick-tock, the clock is counting down. And to be quite honest, I cannot see in reality and in practical terms how on earth we're going to have a referendum under the current legal situation by October 2023. Beyond that, in reality, again, I can't see there being a plebiscite back to referendum at a general election. I just can't see it. So either way you look at it, slicing and dicing it, whichever way you look, you've got to go back to the people. The people are going to have to deliver this. It's in our hands collectively. So the politicians need to step aside and give us a bit of leeway and do what we need to do and drive this forward.
Right. We've got a special guest who's joining us, who's just now waiting to enter the waiting room. So I'm going to put on just the overall view. So let me just change the view here, folks, to gallery, and what we'll do is
Here at Baffy's.
Aye. So we've got our special guest joining us. So we'll wait until their audio's set up, because that leads us on nicely to our next item, believe it or not. Our next item is going to be Pete Wishart. So it would be good to have Pete joining us. Somebody billed this as like a high region for the SNP coming on. I wouldn't have you done as that, Pete, no disrespect. You've been doing in Westminster for over 20 years. I'll say hi, thanks very much for joining us. You've been doing in Westminster for over 20 years. I would like you to tell us what you hope to achieve and when you hope to achieve it, please. You need to put your mic on. Oh, see, there we go. You're on mute, Pete. You're on mute. Right. See, this is their elected representative.
That me now. Is that me now, Peter?
That's you now, Pete. Aye, on you go.
First of all, I would just like to say thanks very much for having me on the show. Yeah, it's been quite comfy down there for over 20 years now, I would say, Pete. You need to get the facts right in that. Yes, my arse cheeks are firmly placed on the bench, and I'm enjoying it. Thank you very much for asking.
Right. Well, no, there was a wee bit of like dissent. We've got to like coin a phrase here, Graham. Hopefully, there was a wee bit of dissent for you, Pete, towards people that would dare to have a bonfire on Guy Fawkes Night and burn the Articles of the Union. And I would like you to try and like explain, because you're just so that I'm getting this right, you're a Scottish independent supporting MP who used to play a keyboard. Is that correct?
That's correct. Yes, I'm Peter.
Right. So explain that dissent to me then, Pete, because it's lost on me, mate.
Well, when I seen you burning that Article of the Union, you couldn't believe how angry I was. These are going to end up costing me my job here. We need to do it the democratic way. You know, we're going to be 3 in 23. So you need to hold your wish, like these women here, and just vote for SNP. I promise you that we will have our independence. I'm not doing this just because I'm comfy there. Sorry, hold on. Sarah, could you get me my slippers? No, the ones, the comfy ones, thank you. Aye, as I was saying, it's really good. I'm enjoying my time down there fighting for the Scottish people, and we're really trying our best to bring independence. But as for burning the Articles of the Union, that's not the way to go. You know, the politicians are sovereign.
All right, the politicians are sovereign.
Yeah.
You heard it here first, Graham. I would like to ask you, Mr. Wishart, but I don't know why I'm calling you Mr. Wishart, but traitor.
Call me Pete. Call me Pete.
We'll call you traitor. Right, traitor.
Fair enough.
I would like to ask you, because there's been a rebirth as well this week, Graham, that you might have noticed, that again, Scottish independent supporters might have noticed, that Wings come back and gave you it tight, and then quite a few people have been giving you it tight this week. Pete, what's all that about?
Well, see that man, he tried to place a bet with me that there wouldn't be a referendum in next year. In October 23, I guarantee there will be. I didn't take that man's cheque because he's going to need all the money he can get, because the way he's carrying on, he's going down.
Going down. Graham, you got anybody to ask Pete?
What's your pension pot standing at currently?
Sorry, could you repeat that?
What's your pension pot standing at currently?
Oh, do you know it's that much? I can't really bring at mind the figures, but let's put it this way, I'm going to be really comfortable. Can you hold on a wee minute? It's that warm in here. Can you open the patio doors and let some of this heat out, please? It's too hot. Aye, it's looking good. I'm going to be settled for the rest of my days.
Yeah, so that's your subsidised heating as well, is it?
Yes, yes. I mean, it gets too hot in here. Sometimes I have all the windows open, the patio doors, the back door and the front door. It's unbelievably hot.
Is that why we didn't need a national energy company then, Pete? Is that why the SNP decided to no bother with that promise?
Yeah, I'm afraid so. At the end of the day, everything's about ourselves. We have to look after ourselves. I mean, you people voted for us. I mean, if you just read that there, we promised to bring an independence referendum in October 23.
If enough.
Do you see that okay?
If enough, frequently enough, it will be believed, right? If we say a lie frequently enough, it will be believed. So,
that's it.
Pete, was that not something that Goebbels or Hitler came away with, though?
I made that up myself. I made that up. I thought of that.
Right. Aye. Plagiarism. You could have plagiarised off somebody better, maybe like Wings or something like that. Have you got any more questions for Pete? Because I would love to keep you here all day, but obviously I'm aware that you've got Sunday lunch booked with a couple of Tories.
My wife, she's doing a lovely roast. It's been in there for 4 hours in the oven. We've got all the trimmings, you know, you would actually think it was a Christmas dinner with it, the turkey, but we're going to be pure stuffed.
Aye, plus all the carrots.
Oh yes, I love my carrots.
Plenty of carrots.
Yeah.
Are you having any guests? You're not having any other Westminsters?
Well, I feel a wee bit sorry for Boris Johnson, so I invited him round, seeing if he wanted to come round, bring his missus. Don't bring all the wains, there's too many wains to be running about in my house. And then we're going to go a wee walk about Perth. I maybe invite Ricky Sunak, but there's a wee bit too much arguing goes on between them at the moment, so you know.
Aye, well, they did do the Claudius bit and kind of a. Well, I suppose it didn't knife him in the front the way Tories usually do. You know what I mean? They knifed him in the back.
Oh.
So I suppose it's historic. History repeats in that, doesn't it?
Aye.
I was just wondering, Peter, is there any of my flock on?
Let me just check. Right, so we're going to check online to see if there's any comments coming in for any of the people that are joining us online. Is there any? Would anybody online like to
for
ask
voting for me and keeping in the
question? So a lot of laughing faces coming in. I don't know if they're laughing at you or with you here, Pete.
I don't think they're laughing at me. I can't see it being that. I mean, they voted for me. Why would they laugh?
Exactly.
Well, this is true.
This is very true.
The last time you laughed, you had the hives, didn't you?
Mm-hmm.
Right. So what else have we got here? Have we got anything? Pete, I don't think you're going to get elected again, mate. Nobody's even want to ask you any questions. Does that not say everything about it? You've been doing
I think it
Westminster too
means
long.
I think it's because they know that I stand for independence. They don't need to ask me anything. I mean, I'm 100% dedicated to the cause.
20 years on.
But listen, guys, I'm really sorry. I'm awfully busy today. I'm going to help the missus with the dinner, and then I'm just going to get everything all set up nice. Turn the heating up a wee bit more, open the windows and that, just so it's nice when they're comfortable when they come in. And I've enjoyed being on your show, but I hope to never see a repeat of the Bonfire of the Vanities. As I say, you're going to cost me the job. The way to go is a referendum.
Well, Pete, I was going to invite you to our St Andrew's Day special where we're doing clans, myths, and legends. It would be great if you could appear. We're going to try and make it a national event again. Tweet Street are going to try and make it a national event where we'll be joining up with people across the country to talk about clans, myths, and legends. Scottish ones, of course, on St Andrew's Day or St Andrew's Night. So look out for further advertisements. And it would be great if you could attend, because I'm sure that you might want to get involved in this to try and win back some of the votes that you've undoubtedly lost by dragging carrots and, well, you've been on that gravy train there, mate.
You're actually sounding like you're an album member there, Peter.
Right, I wasn't expecting that.
Heavens forbid.
I wasn't expecting that. Like, we went a full 5 minutes without you trying to say that hate came for Alba. Right, thanks very much for that, Mr.
No
Wishart.
problem, Peter.
Thanks for joining us. Enjoy your lunch. Let me know if you're talking about eugenics or the Euphrates or John Nicholson or the Express African or the Inverness group or Dissent, because that's what we're going to be talking about for here on in. So just so you don't miss it. But you can catch the rest of this. You can catch the rest of this online when you're kidding on your dinner surgery or something.
I will do. And I'll just leave you with this parting picture because I know everybody will want to see it. Look at that face. Ain't I cute? I'm just so cute. I'll see you later, folks. Enjoy your day.
Right, Pete, thanks very much for joining us.
Ta-ta.
Enjoy your lunch.
Hi. Well, there you go, Graham. So we had a flying visit for Pete Wishart.
No.
I don't know how far I can take this. Right, with Pete Wishart. And he's just, but he doesn't disappoint. He's the same in real life as what he is on Twitter. Well, he's not the same in real life as what he is on Twitter because we're blocked on Twitter.
Well, exactly. I think most of Scotland is. So I don't know. That was really good. I appreciate that. I'm actually peeing myself laughing here.
It's like, I'll tell you, us Scottish folk have got a wicked sense of humour.
Aye, absolutely. We need it.
Well, we do need it. We absolutely need it. But as well as having a wicked sense of humour, we've got a good sense of determination as well. What I'm going to do here is I'm going to share a wee clip of Dissent, because we're going to come on and talk about Dissent.
Mm.
And we'll talk about Inverness as well off the back of that, but we'll talk about the first Dissent outing, which was at St Andrew's House in Holyrood.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
So let me just ready up that on the background, and we'll do a wee share for everybody to see. My mum's on the screen now, but we're laughing. All right, folks. Tweet Street Scotland. Tattoo live. Second stop, St Andrew's House, Edinburgh. Well, me and the wife have came along here for Kilmarnock the day to voice our disapproval at events that go on in Scotland, really. Gender recognition reform bill. Aye, so you're allowed to sit here? Oh, right, this is the full version. Hold on. The full version we're after. Right, we're after getting Dissent on. Right, here we go. Right, so here we go. So we've got people here that say "In the action now" is the banner. So let me see. We'll go along. Oh, there's some carrots there. Some carrots on a stick. And there's a sign of Sovereign Scots, we demand independence now. Then Salvo at the bottom of that. So carrots on a stick. In the action now. Right, so that was at the St Andrews, and we'll go to Holyrood just to show the.
Let me take a picture. Peter, from Germany.
It's going live to YouTube at the minute. So, right.
This lady's from Germany.
Right. Oh.
George's husband.
Well, we'll go. There's a fine crowd gathered outside the Parliament here. This part here.
Yes.
So we've got. Folk can tune in to watch that. It's on the page, folks. But Graham's here to tell us a bit about Dissent. Tell us why you felt that you had today what you were doing. I think it borrows off of pretty much how we've started, doesn't it? It's just.
Aye, I mean Dissent is. We disagree. We're not in agreement with what's happening. Dissent, by its very name, means that we are out of step with what's happening in the mainstream. Dissent, I mean, it's a sort of very loose, informal activist network that we've set up, and we've got a core group of basically good, solid activists that are prepared to actually go out there and do stuff like you've just seen at Holyrood and St Andrew's House. Dissent, I mean, by its very nature, you're saying that you dissent against what's happening, and it is entirely up to individuals what they want to do, but it's a vehicle of protest, it's a vehicle of direct action, it's a vehicle of any type of protest, as long as it's peaceful. We don't want to take any sort of action like other possible groups have taken, which cause, shall we say, difficulties, and we don't want to escalate it up beyond peaceful actions at the moment until we see how it goes. But at the moment, there is an appetite for change, and the fact is the political classes aren't there changing things, so it is back over to us, the people, to deliver that change. And if we have to get out in the streets and demonstrate and do other things peacefully, then so be it. It's up to us. But the fact of the matter is that we cannot sit and dither about as we're doing just now, because people are literally going to die from cold, hunger, and all the rest of it because of inaction by our failed politicians. It's as simple as that. So Dissent, over to the people, working with the people. It's a call to action as opposed to anything else, and that basically is the bottom line. It's a call to action for people to get up off their arses and say, look, we've had enough of this crap, we're going to go out in the streets and make our voices heard. That is the bottom line. So I would hope that people across Scotland will support this notion and actually get up and say, okay, what can I do to dissent against what is happening just now? It's not a group as such, it's a grouping of people who've got like-minded thoughts and are prepared to actually take action. I'm part of the core group, and we've got some pretty good ideas of what we want to do over a number of months. Obviously, people have got their own ideas of what they want to do. Localised action is probably good, because rather than having it national, as we did at Holyrood and St Andrew's House, I think it's a good idea to come out in the streets in your own location, even if it's out just waving a flag and saying, I've had enough of this shite or whatever. Just getting the message out there. That's the bottom line. It's just getting people to actually say, yeah, we've had enough of this. We can't stand this anymore.
Absolutely. Right. We've just had a picture sent through for Pete Wishart. He's obviously getting himself set up to have his Sunday dinner with his wife. And just to let anybody know who's watching in black and white, Pete's the one with the short hair. So just anybody that's watching in black and white, Pete's the one with the short hair.
What's the no here?
Hi, then Mr. Majika, but pretty much look on this side. I'll sit in front of his face. I don't know if it comes out mirrored there. So thanks very much for sending that through to us, Pete. That doesn't look like a woman to me though. But anyway, that's what this GRR thing's all about. But that's another thing that people are showing their dissent with. Right, so coming back to dissent, Graham, I think it's a great suggestion that people that it can be localized, and with having social media, you can put a wee hashtag on it as well, so that it makes it easier to find. The kind of things that I'm going to just change this wee background a wee bit, because the kind of things that were done, like some people had made a banner, or John had made the banner. I believe it was just John. I know that he does a lot of banners. John had made the banner, and then everybody got together and met and just walked from St Andrews down to Holyrood on that day, protested, and felt as if we were actually doing something. Like,
yeah, I mean, the way it happened on the day was it wasn't organised. It was loosely organised, but it wasn't organised as a demo. There's a big difference between a demo and a flash mob. A flash mob doesn't need permission. For example, at the Holyrood or wherever, you just appear, pitch up, and unfurl the banner, and off you go, just as we did. Same at St Andrews House. There were folk obviously taken by surprise at St Andrews House, such as the Spads that came out, and their faces told it all. So it had an effect. But I think the message is, I mean, to organise a demo, you've got to go down the formal sort of route and get police involved and all the rest of the protocols. I think dissent, by its very nature, it means spur of the moment action. Just go out and do it. And on the day at Holyrood, we had a word from the police. Chief Inspector came over to us and had quite a pleasant chat with us and said, you know, who's organised it, sort of thing. Nobody's organised it. We just appeared. All right, okay, that's fine. So, and we actually ended up sending a serious message out to the chamber with the chanting that we did. I don't know if you've got that there, Pete, but there was a message went out loud and clear to those in the chamber. We ain't putting up with this anymore. So, and all it takes is a bit of time and a bit of preparation, and off you go. I mean, we were there for what, about an hour?
aye.
And that's all it took. And the message was out there loud and clear. We got media coverage, we got interviews from foreign press, and passers-by and all the rest of it. I mean, the message got out there loud and clear. So it's just a case of, if everybody across Scotland in every town and village sent out a similar message, they'd get the message loud and clear that we're pissed off, you know. So
well, we're going to play some of the chanting as you've just alluded to there, Graham, and then we'll come to that links in nicely to towns and villages, and we'll come back to Inverness. All right, so we'll play this wee bit here. Banners as well. So that's what we've got going on at the minute.
What do we want? Stand out. What do we want? Independence. What do we want? Stand out. 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 What do we want? Stand out.
So the protest. Right, so I mean the chants are there. Independence action now. If you're not going to move, get off the pot, effectively.
Aye.
And it brings back into, like, as we're saying, because obviously we're in a cost of living crisis, and as I've said to you before, Graham, for you to get from Inverness to Edinburgh, your 2 hours, for me coming from Kilmarnock the other way to Edinburgh, like, again, best part of 2 hours. For other people that want to travel, that can't necessarily, that don't necessarily have the time or the finances to do it. What we're doing is, and Graham's, obviously we're going to talk about Inverness, because Inverness were out again yesterday. And tell us a wee bit about Inverness then, Graham, please.
Well, Inverness is a very vibrant group of committed activists. We're located in Inverness, but we've got people from the islands across the islands. We're proactive. I mean, I'm speaking as an ordinary member of Inverness, not as any sort of committee member or anything like that. But the ideas and action are pretty powerful. I mean, the Highlands is a great place. The Highlands historically have been rebellious, shall we say. So it's in the Highland nature to get out there and do stuff. And we do stuff. We get out there. So that Inverness, it was a brilliant idea, and I can only commend those that thought up the idea, Judith Reid and others, to, instead of having a march on a local level, why not have a few friends go out and have a stroll around the streets and across the bridges in Inverness? So the whole concept came together, and I think probably those that organised it would probably agree. We thought it would be good if we got about 10 people just to go out with flags and stuff and have a visibility awareness thing through Inverness on a Saturday morning. But in the event, there was about 70 odd people turned up. And again, it's a bit like the flash mob situation. You don't need organisation. Like if you're doing a march or something like that, you've got to go through all the rigmarole, going to council, getting the streets shut, getting the police out and all the rest of it, and stewards. Whereas if you've got a small body of people going out and making a big, huge splash with flags in the middle of a Saturday, 70 odd people made a big, huge impact. And we picked up people on the way, and we got folk coming up to us and saying, brilliant, this is great. And you just walk along the pavements. I mean, single file along the pavements. You're not on the actual road. You're just on the pavement. So you're not into any traffic problems or anything like that. But you're making a massive statement. Thank you, Peter.
No worries. I was just trying to get the pictures, so I'll go through them, and you can. Was this where your gathering place was then?
Yeah, just outside our hub.
Right. And then you can go.
Yeah, just again, that's in Falcon Square, just outside the main shopping centre. Again, highly visible, and people were tooting their horns and saying, yeah, brilliant stuff. It's just getting out there and highlighting the fact that people are not prepared to sit in their backsides and do bugger all. Sorry for my choice words, but it just shows what can be done. I mean, all it takes is activity and the preparedness to get up off your arse and do something and get out in the street of a Saturday morning. Now, I was just checking before I came on here, because we were in yesterday and had a brilliant day in the hub yesterday. A lot of good conversations happening. Now, where are we? I wrote it down as well, so my memory is bad because I'm getting an old. Good.
A birthday party or a birthday wishes for somebody by any chance?
No, no. Here it is here. There's a Bridges event again happening in Inverness on the 26th of November.
Okay.
From 1 o'clock till 2 o'clock in the afternoon this Saturday. So if you're in the Highlands, or if you can travel through to the Highlands, you fancy a wee weekend away, absolutely come and join us and bring your flags and banners, whatever you want. And we'll have a wee stroll around the bridges again and just make our point loud and clear.
What's the date for that again, Graham, just to confirm?
The 26th of November.
The 26th of November, folks. So there you go. If you're in Inverness, it's a Saturday. If you're in Inverness, or if you're close enough, or even if you're not close enough, but you want to make it your point to try and get there on the 26th for something that's like, again, I think that's absolutely amazing. Just seeing the Saltire and seeing people actually putting a wee bit of effort in to show that they're proud of Scotland and well, our journey to a free, independent Scotland. Aye, so I get along to that if you can, folks.
So, I mean, any time you like, I mean, like yesterday, folk were dropping into the hub. Now the hub is in Huntley Street in Inverness, and it's open on a Thursday evening. The times escape me. My memory is not the best at the moment, but Saturday it's open from 11 o'clock till 4 o'clock in the afternoon. Anyway, it's passing by, or you want to drop in past, they've got loads of merchandise and stuff like flags and all sorts of stuff. Drop in for a cup of tea and a wee blether. It's absolutely great. So
excellent. See, this is the thing, Graham, that in Kilmarnock, the local hub here was actually shutting down. So to know that there's other people still going and like, okay, when I say it's shutting down, they're still online, but the shop itself is going to be closing, or has closed actually last Sunday there. But they are available online. There was something I wanted to draw my attention to as well, because one of our regular viewers and subscribers, I had on my record that I was going to say well done to somebody, and this happened on the 30th of October. So I've got to do a wee screen share here, first of all, because it's just, I skipped over it last week and then I've skipped over it again. Well, I skipped over it the first week it was on, and then I skipped over it last week. So it's just when I'm seeing it, I'm like, oh, I've not done that. And it shows that grassroots, we appreciate the people that actually tune in and support our channel and support what we're doing. And I just wanted to say, so you might know who this is. Kizzy Wiz, their nephew David Livingston won on Friday the 30th of October, won for Scotland the title of kickboxing champion of the world. So this is a picture here. It was just when I seen the Saltires, there was something else that caught my eye, and this was it here. So congratulations to being world champion kickboxer, kickboxing world champion to David Livingston, and that was on the 30th of October. So well done. It was just on my thing to talk about. But I like we're a movement that has stalled. Is the best way to put it. And when I say that we've stalled, my opinion is that we've stalled because that's what we're supposed to do. This is where it's supposed to be. And if you see the pet projects that are getting pushed through, or try to get pushed through, the importance of independence, when already, as we've already said, about 2014, it was everything that's told us would happen if we voted yes has happened because they voted no. And then we've got somebody in place whose feet of their own shadow is like the kindest I can be. You could probably go a lot more darker and say that there's other motives, but if you go down the kindest Tim Tabard approach, then they're feared to do anything for being successful. Is the easiest way to look at it. John Nicholson's not gave himself an easy week this week, has he?
No. That's being kind to him.
Right, so we'll just say about Roddy.
Better be careful with the legal implications of that as well.
Yes. We'll just say, because of that, we'll just say that Roddy Dunlop has fired a shot across Mr. Nicholson's bows, and we will leave it at that, because it is a very serious situation and a tribunal between a charity that's trying to get charity status removed from another charity for being allegedly bigoted, racist, whatever it might be, transphobic, whatever name you want to put in it, right? So it's Mermaids Against LGB Alliance. Good luck to LGB Alliance in that one. I'm not want to show any bias or anything like that, but good luck to LGB Alliance in that one. Mermaids are, for me, these are my opinions now, this isn't anything to do with that case, but they've got questions to ask at best about child safeguarding and paedophilia, and the links to. And they've been in the Scottish Parliament. They've been in the Scottish Parliament along with some of these people that were spoke about, like the First Minister was there. I think Alan Smith may have been there. But again, it's not a very good look for Scotland and Scottish politics when you've got a First Minister who's championed pet projects, that are potentially going to fall at the second reading, because, as a lot of independent supporters had said, well, we're going on 2 years now for this is going, when there's been people going for before me that have been saying this has got to be an issue come going through Parliament, because the way that they've done it, there was no debate and everything was secretive, and there was women weren't wished and like wished for India. You had all of these things going on, and we were trying to kind of throw a wee bit of light to it, to go, well, like, do you realise it's bad law? Do you realise the safeguarding implications? All of the things that are getting made aware to the public now. So, but you've got to then go. It's very either very. I need to try and watch the way I word this. It's
Aye.
It's hard to say that the motives of the First Minister of Scotland lean towards gaining independence for Scotland. That's the most diplomatic way that I can put it.
Yeah, I would agree with you.
Aye, right.
Being diplomatic about it.
Aye, well, again, everything else is just accusations and hearsay until somebody comes out with things. And there's laws that, I mean, we've got rights in that. We know that we've got rights. At this point, we still have some rights that we're going to be getting taken from us. But there are laws in that mean that prevent you from saying certain things about certain subjects. So we need to kind of err on the side of caution and go, right, well, we'll leave it at that, and we'll say that Mr. Nicholson has risked himself and the case that's happening. We commenting on it as a witness. You know what I mean? As a witness, commenting on it. Was there anything else you wanted to talk about? I want to get to a couple of wee clips. But was there anything that you wanted to talk about, Graham? Because I know that we're near enough half-past.
No, I think I've said my piece for today, so yeah.
Right. Cool. Right, we're going to try and have a wee bit of fun now, right? Because things get too serious, right? They get too serious, and sometimes you need to try and have a wee bit of a laugh at others' expense. So with that, I'm going to do a wee screen share here. From one of the unionist rags. Now, we've spoke a wee bit about Salvo today in Bonfire of the Vanities, but they done a Edinburgh proclamation, and of late they went and put a wee announcement out saying that any SNP or any MSPs or Scottish MSPs or MPs that don't support the Edinburgh proclamation would be named and shamed on the Salvo website. And the Express picked up on that, right, yesterday. Sinister Indie Group threatens to shame SNP politicians who refuse to sign Bonkers proclamation. Right, so again, the headline, right, sinister and bonkers, right? So unlike the Union, sinister and bonkers, you know, right? So like that Goebbels and Hitler thing that Pete Wishart was saying, like if you repeat a lie often enough, it becomes the truth. Well, accuse others of what you yourself are guilty of, right? So I'm just doing this because I was right in the middle of that. There I'm there with the old T-shirt on, the Edinburgh Proclamation, and this is an extremist Scottish nationalist group has threatened to name and shame, right? I'll let people read the rest of it themselves, but it's one of them where, again, language, we get called transphobes and bigots and everything else after the Scottish government. We're getting called this after like, do you notice that all the names seem to be coming like towards the people that are trying to like build support towards independence and want to date the new and know that on a carrot like is in the background here. Like that's the kind of things that I noticed. Do you notice these things, Graham?
Absolutely. I mean, I have to come clean and say, look, I'm one of these bigoted salvo persons. So,
I'm the same. But if we go with labels, I'm one of these salvo people that signed the liberation, signed up at liberation.scot, registered for salvo. I believe in the common good, the Scottish.
I can only surmise that. I mean, it's like everything else with the unions. They're running scared, and they're running scared big style because they know exactly what's about to happen.
Aye.
They can see in plain sight what we're about. A proper liberation movement, aye. A proper constitutional change, aye. It's going to happen, and it's going to happen sooner than they possibly think.
Aye, definitely. And look, I mean, there's obviously there was the midterms across the pond, Graham. I don't know if you followed American midterms by any chance.
I was keeping an eye on it, yeah.
Aye, like again, you do. We tend to try and keep an eye on things, but like, we're heavily influenced by across the pond. And I want to kind of show you a wee video that will become more normalised if the First Minister has her way with the gender recognition reform bill. And I can gauge your thoughts on this. So this is Miss Greta Derry.
Can we skip to the good part?
Right, so that's Brian Nguyen, who's Miss. Miss Greater New Derry and over in the States. So you've got all these young lasses that starve themselves so that they can have the hourglass figure or whatever it is, the slim figure, whatever it is. Getting gaslit by, well, let's put it this way, what seems to be an unhealthy looking young man in comparison to some of the healthier looking bodies of the in the background of the young women. And this is going to probably become commonplace because I don't know if you've seen that woman that's a Dundee United supporter that kids on. She's Scottish, that works for the mainstream. Lorraine, I can't remember if it's Kelly or whatever it is. She's doing a drag thing on TV. Like it's children's ITV. Like, so you'll see where I'm going with this, right?
Yeah.
Because it doesn't really matter. Like, when they start trying to indoctrinate and give compelled speech to your children, so that they can move away with things like that, then, well, I'm going to finish off pretty much the day's show with my sixth sense of humour. It's something like this. No, nobody was harmed in the making of this video clip, but hopefully you'll see where my laughter came from here. First things first, I need to say that I'm very wary round about dogs, right?
Shadow, relax, Shadow. Shadow, relax. Shadow, stop.
Right. So as you see there, it's not a dog, it's a stuffed animal, right? It's a stuffed toy. And somebody just walking about with a white stick and shades on. It took me a couple of takes to actually, because I was like being wary of dogs, Graham. I was like, that's disgraceful. And then it was the wife that pointed to, she says, that's not even a dog, Peter, that's. And I'm like, well, it is. I was just going with the fact that I had a dog. But so again, my sixth sense of humour on that one, folks. You can find all of these things. I retweet these things on my Twitter page. We're going to leave with a revelation. The Euphrates. Do you know the Euphrates? The Euphrates River?
Yeah, it's in Iraq.
Aye, that's it. there've been like, a lot of people Googling the Euphrates. It's a bit of revelation, and it just ties in with like, Nicola Sturgeon saying the FM's position is revealing. There's other revelations on their way. So, for Tweet Street Scotland occupied.
On that note,
for the satirical saltire, for my guest, Graham Bell, for the Inver Yes group that he was speaking in behalf of, I hope to see more of your wonderful ventures through the town, and hopefully one day I'll be able to take part in one.
yeah, hopefully you will.
Have you got a message you want to say before we finish up then, Graham?
Not really, just thank you very much for having me on here. It's been a pleasure, absolute pleasure, and it's been very interesting indeed.
Aye.
Good to have a chat. And
It's good to catch up with people that are like-minded. And
absolutely.
we'll have you back on again in the future
Thank you.
with updates on your what things, what ideas you are centering on. We would like to get you involved in the St Andrew's Day Clans Myths and Legends, Graham. Being away up in the north of the country, it'd be absolutely great. And with that, like, just to give people an idea of what it is, I'm going to be talking a wee bit about my clan and clans in general. I would like other people to come on and say what they know about their clan, or about a myth or legend from their area that, again, because Scottish history is hidden from us, and information in Scotland's hidden from us. So unless you go and search for it, it's hard to come by. So if you've got something you want to get involved in, a national event for St Andrew's night, St Andrew's Day's evening, then that's a wee message. We'll get you part of the Zoom, pretty much like we've done with the Bonfire of the Vanities. And the more that gets involved, the better, the louder the message is for the rest of Scotland. And we're fed up with saying that, well, this is my tagline. We're no independent. We're no independent because of Alex Salmond, or because of Westminster, or because of Nicola Sturgeon even. We're no independent because of me. And when I say me, like, turn that back on yourself. They're not got to date for us. Like, we need to date for ourselves. Show a wee bit of dissent, like Graham's already said.
Absolutely.
Like, upset the status quo. Like, voice your concern. Look at where the alternatives. Bad law, safeguarding red flags galore, women's rights issues galore, an unhappy society. But it's no a good advert for a free, independent Scotland, by the sounds of it, that's this referendum in less than a year's got to bring. So on that note, leaves us with something to think about. I'm going to do a wee video share because we're Celtic friends. It's World Cup time, and we're Celtic friends are going to be representing the World Cup. So I would like to, with them in mind, share a song that you're probably going to hear over the course of the next month. Hopefully you'll hear it for the full month and longer. This is Yama Ohid.
Yeah, good luck. Good luck.
Good luck to Wales.
Dwi dim yn cofio Maxen, does neb yn ei nabod o. Mae 1600 o flynyddoedd yn amser hi hir i'r côr. Ond el Magnus Maximus o Cymru yn y flwyddyn 303, a'n gadael yn genedl gyfan, a heddiw welen ni. Yma o hi, yma o hi, gweitha pawb a phobeth, gweitha pawb a phobeth, gweitha pawb a phobeth, yma o hi. Chwythed y gwynt o'r dwyrain, rhied y storm o'r môr, holled y mellt yr wybren, a gwedded y daran ein côr. Llifed a gler gwangalon, a llyfed y teiog y llawr, o'n gwmpas, rydyn ni'n barod am goriad wan. Cofiwn ni facsen wledig, a nailin gwlad ni'n darn, a flwyddwn ger bron y gwledydd, byddwn yma hyd i'r farn. Gweitha pob Dick Sion Dafydd, a'r gweitha y gelyn a'i grew, byddwn yma hyd diwedd amser, a fydd yr iaith Gymraeg yn fyw.
It's very powerful stuff, that, Graham, eh?
Absolutely.
Right.
Absolutely.
So, on that note, for tweets,
Good luck to you.
For Satirical Salter, the Graham Bell. Catch you on the flip side, folks. Good luck, Wales. And that's the end of the live stream for the day, folks.
Cheers. Thank you very much.